Sup, my dogs? We got Supercross potentially. Look at these inside ruts. Oh my god, that's too badass. Why don't they do that on MXM Pro, like fucking RF Pro tracks? Why don't they do that? I don't know, but the world may never know. Even in the game that's, you know, technically got the best terrain deformation of any motocross game out there, period, still has pre-made inside ruts on their track. Does that not tell you anything, RF? Come on now. Come on now. So, wow, this is a little bit of a, not really sure what layout this is exactly, but, oh, yeah, this is the newer one. Okay, yeah. Okay, so to the video here. So we're getting in this interesting point where now that Supercross has, like, canceled all the rounds or whatever, postponed, we don't really know. We just think it's canceled at the moment. Like, I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. Because at first it was like they were just going to, you know, postpone the one round, and then it turned into 2 rounds, and that turned into 5 rounds. And if I'm not mistaken, now it's like they're postponing the whole season, whole rest of the Supercross season. But now we're getting into the outdoor series, and they've already completely canceled the first round of that, Hangtown, which is like 2 months away. But from what I've been seeing, they're still planning on running the rest of the outdoor schedule, just minus the 1 round, minus the first round. So that's their plan on that. But so that's kind of telling you they're not really going to be doing Supercross like in the summertime. They're not going to, like, you know, push back motocross to do Supercross, or they're not just going to do the rest of Supercross in place of motocross. They're definitely still basically doing motocross on its normal summer schedule, which means you're not going to be doing the rest of the 2020 Supercross season, at least not like in the summer. I mean, maybe they could do it in the off season after summer. I know some people's kind of thought of that, but we're getting in an interesting place now to where it's really going from postponing this Supercross season to having to just totally end it / cancel it / it ain't gonna be done. You know what I mean? We won't be doing any more of the 2020 Supercross series. So I don't know. AMA is gonna have to really come up with some clever ideas here on what they're going to do with this, because it's going to take some thinking to try to figure out how to do this, because even if you do it like after outdoors, that's so bizarre trying to continue a series like 4 or 5 months later. It's already going to be the craziest, weirdest, not fair, out of the ordinary, whatever you want to call it, Supercross season that there probably ever has been. As far as, like, cancellations, you know, postponed races, whatever you want to call it, like, it's already going to be that. But this kind of laid to rest a lot of us that thought maybe Supercross was just going to go on in the summertime, or it was just going to kind of take the place of outdoors, and then we would do outdoors more in, like, the fall. That's not really, that, at least currently, that doesn't really seem like that's going to be the case here. Just saying. Like, to some of you guys that were kind of getting that idea in your head, it just doesn't really seem like that's going to be the case. So then it comes into, what do you do then at that point? Do you go ahead and crown Tomac, which I think would be terrible, or do you just not crown anybody and act like nobody won the title in 2020, and then just continue next year like Webb was still the champion and we just didn't even really have a 2020 series, right? Either way you do it, there's going to be a lot of negatives to it. Either way you do it. If you crown Tomac, it's going to be the biggest upset. Oh my God. Like, and even Tomac doesn't even want that. You know what I mean? Tomac doesn't want to win his first Supercross title like that, only being at the points leader halfway through the series. Now, if we were down to, like, you know, the last 3 or 4 rounds, or the last 2 rounds or something, maybe you could kind of start going down that road a little bit more. But we were dead nut right in the middle of the season. I mean, so it's literally the, like, worst case scenario as far as trying to crown somebody without finishing all the races, or trying to just not crown anybody the champion. It's the worst case scenario for that because you're just deep enough to where you got to do something. But if you do something, it's probably not going to be the right decision. Or it's probably not going to be, there's going to be a lot of negatives to it no matter what they do. You know what I mean? So, I don't know, boys. This is definitely, let me know down in the comments what you guys think the best solution is for this. But, sorry, I'm bombing this track right now. I have no idea. This is the first time ever seeing this puppy. Pretty cool track, though. Got some nice rhythms on it. I need to learn some of these outside lines. Plus, I, never play reflex, so it's always a little weird coming back in here with full rust. Just hopping in here trying to make a video real quick. But, yeah, it's going to be interesting either whatever way they decide to do it, because you could even go as far as think about how confusing that's going to be for Tomac and Roczen. They were already sort of still in that Supercross mode, thinking it was potentially going to be their first Supercross championship. They were thinking full Supercross mode. And now they're kind of having to switch their whole entire mindset to outdoors, and they're going to have to run that whole outdoor series with still having this 2020 Supercross series in the back of their mind, not knowing if they're going to run it, when they're going to run it, and then Tomac trying to go for his 4 in a row in the outdoors while he's in the midst of midways through his Supercross title, his first Supercross title. Whew, man, it's going to be a funky thing. And then it's I guess what I'm trying to say with this is Tomac's trying not to get injured in outdoors because he's already in the points lead of a title hunt, of a title that's not been finished yet. You understand what I'm saying? So it's almost like just even in the first round of outdoors, Tomac has already sort of got something to lose with trying not to get injured, so that if they do start this 2020 Supercross series back up after outdoors, he can still race in it and finish off his Supercross title. You see what I'm saying? It's it's just made everything twisted, flipped, upside down. I don't know. I just don't know what the best way is to go about doing it. I don't know how they're going to do it. I have no clue. But there is no real right way to do it. I don't know. I would have thought the best way would have been to have done it in the summertime, as soon as you could, versus having the outdoor series come up and then trying to do the Supercross series after the outdoor series. I would have thought that would have been a better way to do it if they could have done it that way and then just pushed outdoors further back into fall, towards the off season. I would have personally thought that would have been the best way to go about doing it, but maybe Lucas Oil didn't want to confine to that, or maybe, they're kind of two separate entities, the AMA Supercross and the FIM Lucas Oil Pro Motocross. They're kind of two separate things, so maybe that just all didn't jive together to where they could do it like that, and outdoors was just trying to do all their stuff at the normal time. And even with outdoors, them not running Hangtown, so that's going to be one less race than the usual, which is not crazy, but still it's something to point out. They're still not running one of the races that they normally would run, so that's something to think about. But yeah, now it's it's just so weird trying to be halfway through a Supercross series and then try to re-continue it so later on down the line. The longer they wait, the worse it's going to get. The longer they wait to do it, the weirder and weirder it's going to get trying to continue it, right? I don't know. There's a lot of different options. Maybe they would just do the last 2 rounds and then crown the championship then. Do Vegas and the round after that when they were supposed to do that round here in 4 or 5 weeks or whatever it is, right? Maybe that's an option. Do it with nobody in the stands. Shit, I don't know. But all I know is if they wait and try to do this shit plumb after outdoors, you're going to have people injured from outdoors. Everybody's going to be riding different in outdoors because they're thinking about the Supercross championship in the back of their head, specifically Tomac, Roczen, Barsha, you know what I'm saying. All them dudes that are really in the points hunt and in 250 class as well. What is it? Ferrandis and again, getting a little brain fart here. We didn't have very many East rounds yet, but who was in the points lead on East? I know it was Leclerc, Sexton, some of those dudes. Either way, in outdoors, I mean, some of them dudes might not even opt to even race outdoors if they're that much in the points of the 2020 Supercross Series, and there's the potential of the Supercross Series continuing after outdoors. A lot of them dudes wouldn't even risk racing outdoors. A lot of them dudes don't even race outdoors anyways some years, just to get prepared more for the Supercross Series that's all the way in the next year. Could you imagine if you were in the points hunt of a Supercross Series, in the title hunt, and then outdoors is going to be in between, you know, a Supercross Series that is split in half down the middle with the rounds? Could you imagine how weird and confusing that's going to be, and how much that's going to change everybody's mindset on it? I'm just saying, this has turned into a lot more of a complicated issue than I think any of us really had planned for or had expected it to be or whatever. And then I guess there's the other option of like, because okay, this is what I'm saying, like, if they don't get this Supercross season finished in some kind of a way, you can't really continue it like next year in place of 2021 Supercross. You know, you can't just come in with, like, let's just say they just try to continue all the rounds instead of doing like Anaheim 1 and through. They just start with Indianapolis, finish out the 2020 Supercross Series, and then just act like they never even really ran a 2021 Supercross Series. See, then you're kind of jacking that up. You're getting into the next year. You're jacking up the next year, and then it's an endless cycle of continuing to jack up future years of Supercross. So they've got to get it done this year if they're going to do it. But I don't know. I don't know. Just a weird thing, because it's one of those things. Tomac is, yeah, he's in the lead in points, but only by like 3 points. That would be so unfair to just give it to Tomac at this point. That would be just insane. And then Tomac would always have that little thing beside his Supercross title, like he didn't really earn it. And I can promise you he would hate that. He would hate that to be the case. You know, all you dudes that are like super Tomac fanboys or whatever that are really wanting him to just get handed the title, you got to understand, he doesn't even want that. And I promise you don't even want that, even if you're a Tomac fan, because then it's just making your boy look worse than what he really is. It's going to make it look like he didn't even really earn it. And then if you just don't give it to anybody, it's like, well, shit. I guess that's the lesser of the evils, though. If it came down to it, I guess just not giving the title to any of them, not finishing the series, and then just starting 2021 over again. I mean, I guess that's the lesser of the evils. I guess that's the way I look at it, but that's just in the case of if they couldn't continue it in the fall, in the off season in some kind of way, you know. That's if they couldn't do that. I think the best option would be to just not give it to anybody, personally, because nobody's really earned it. Nobody's really finished the full-blown Supercross series to earn it, so technically nobody has earned it. Some of you thinking that Tomac has earned it. He hasn't earned it yet, dog. Just because he has the points lead midway through the damn championship, that's about the furthest you could be from earning it or, you know, deserving it at that point. But it ain't nothing. It ain't none of them boys' fault. You know, they can't do anything about it. I don't know. Maybe we'll have a Supercross in the fall, Supercross in the off season, finish it up, and then go right into 2021 Supercross. Holy shit, that'd be a lot of Supercross racing, dog. Either way, it's going to be a one-of-a-kind, unorthodox year, but I just wanted to get in here and talk about it because the more we get through this and the more weeks that go by, you know, it's just starting to get more and more down that road of it's going to be looking more like a full-blown cancellation versus a postponement to me. I mean, that's just what it looks like to me. It looks like it's going to be more of a they're not even going to finish the 2020 Supercross season versus postponing it. Because now it's not just a matter of postponing. And that's what I was saying in some of those other videos. You have outdoors so close after Supercross, you can't just go postponing 5 rounds, putting them at a, you know, a later date, like a month later or whatever, then you're right into outdoors. You can't do that. I knew that was going to happen. I knew that was going to be an issue. I knew that was going to jack all this up. Having outdoors always being so close after Supercross. But either way, I have no idea what's going to happen, but it's going to be interesting either way they try to do it. So, I don't know. There's no right way to do it. There's no I don't know. Either way you do it, it's gonna be shitty for somebody. You know what I mean? But I think the not crowning anybody would probably be the lesser of the, because you're not giving it to somebody that didn't earn it, right? So it's almost like it kept it even in a sense. The only person it would be kind of shitty for is Tomac, because he was leading the points, but still, he was only leading the points by 3 points. So it wasn't like he had a 30-point lead and they just stole Tomac's title away. You know what I mean? It wasn't quite like that. It's not quite like that. So I don't know. I think if push comes to shove and they can't finish it for whatever reason, or they can't reschedule it in the offseason, you're just going to have to sweep it away like it never happened. Sweep 2020 Supercross away like it never happened as far as championship-wise goes. And then you're just going to have to go on to 2021, and I guess you would just keep the champions from 2019, like with the #1 plates and all that. You would just act like, I mean, you would still keep the wins and all that stuff and the finishes of the races that you did run in 2020, but you would just not even count any sort of championship or point standings or anything like that, you know. But if they can finish it in the offseason, I mean, I guess that's, you know, a way to do it. If they can get all the stadiums to comply with that and do all that, if they don't have other things scheduled and that, because, you know, there's all kinds of, like, winter sports and shit that are going on during that time, and fall sports and stuff that are in stadiums, not just sports, but everything, you know, concerts or whatever that they probably already have scheduled in all those stadiums for the fall and the typical off season of motocross and supercross. So I don't even know if they can do that, you know. It's going to be a leap and a half just for them to be able to try to do that, to try to continue the supercross season, the supercross series in the off season. Then you got Monster Cup kind of chilling. So I have no idea. Maybe they just do one race, you know, like a damn, I don't know, like a finale Monster Cup race for the 2020 Supercross Championship, and it's like all the 250 dudes are there. That'd be a cool-ass way to do it. I didn't really think about that, but it'd be a pretty sick way to do it. You know, instead of the Monster Cup being the million, it's like, this is for the titles, you know? So it's really like Tomac and Roxon going after it, and it's all the 250 dudes going after it in a shootout or some shit. Everybody going for the title. But see, that's the crazy thing. The 250 East dudes have only ran like, what, 2 or 3 races? Could you imagine being able to win a goddamn 250 Supercross title with just running like 4 races? That would be insane. You know, so I don't know. Either way they do it, it's going to be kind of an, you know, an asterisk beside whoever wins any of the titles this year, just because of how weird and different it is. So that's what I mean by you would almost be better just to wipe the slate clean, cancel it all, you know, don't crown anybody, and just start over next year. I don't know, guys. I mean, this is just kind of turned into a whole nother animal, and that's about one of the best ways I see to be able to do it. But yeah, either way, definitely let me know down in the comments what you guys think. I know everybody's going to have their own opinion on this, but yeah, it's just a crazy time for any sport, any in-stadium, anything like that. Very weird times, but it's all going to be good here in another month or so, another 2 months, right? Should be all good, dog. So appreciate you guys watching all the videos. Later, dudes.